In this video, we're going to learn about the distributive property and how it works with grouping numbers and how we can do what's called factoring using the distributive property. So make sure to copy down our vocabulary before we move on. So what is the distributive property? Let's start with our example 3 times the quantity 4 plus 5. First thing to note here is that this is the same as saying 3 times parentheses 4 plus 5. Whenever you have something right next to parentheses, that means multiplication. So this is sort of like saying 3 groups of 4 plus 5. So the reason why I put a little basket of fruit on the front is because we can think of this as being 3 baskets, and each one has 4 apples and 5 oranges. So what we have is 3 groups of 4 plus 5. So if we think about it with the fruit example, we can see that this is like saying there's 3 times 4, that's the number of apples, plus 3 times 5, that's the number of oranges. And that's equivalent to what we started with of 3 times 4 plus 5. So that's all the distributive property is. It's showing that when you do that multiplication with parentheses, it's the same as multiplying the individual pieces. So if we take another example of 5 times 2 plus 11, we know that's the same as saying 2 plus 11, 5 times. Those are like our 5 baskets of 2 plus 11. So that's the same as saying 5 times 2 plus 5 times 11. And no matter which way we do it, that's going to give us 65. Here, because we'd have 10 plus 55, or here, because we'd have 5 times 13. Either way, gives us the same answer of 65. Now in this class, we're actually not going to be doing it this way as much as we are going to be doing the reverse. So what this video is really about is about teaching you how to factor. So factoring is like doing the distributive property backwards. So maybe right off the bat, you can see what the original might have looked like when it looks like this. What you want to do is you want to find whatever the greatest common factor of 25 and 55 was, because that's the number that's going to go outside the parentheses. So the greatest common factor of 25 and 55 is 5. So that means that we have 5 times and then some in the middle. So what 2 numbers would be on the inside in order for it to equal 25 plus 55? So what we do is we divide by that greatest common factor. So we do 25 divided by 5. That gives us 5. And we do 55 divided by 5. That gives us 11. So what we have is 5 plus 11. 5 times the quantity 5 plus 11. That is the factored form of 25 plus 55. Let's try it again with the next one. So first we find the greatest common factor of 24 and 9. So the GCF of 24 and 9 is 3. And you can always do a cake diagram to figure that out if you're not sure. So now we know we have 3 times something, and we just need to divide by 3 to see what that something is. So 24 divided by 3 gives us 8, and 9 divided by 3 gives us 3. So this is 3 times 8 plus 3. Why don't you pause the video for a moment and try and do the last one, the 7 plus 42. See if you can factor that one. So the first thing I did was I saw that the GCF was 7. So then I did 7 divided by 7, which gave me 1, and 42 divided by 7, which gave me 6. So my factored form is 7, the GCF, times 1 plus 6. And I can always check my work by doing what we did on the first slide, doing 7 groups of 1 plus 6 and seeing if that comes out to be equal to 7 plus 42. So in this case, 7 times 7 is 49, and 7 plus 42 is also 49. So I know that it worked. All right, so for our practice problem, I want you to do what we were just doing before. I want you to rewrite by factoring out the greatest common factor of 20 plus 8. So write it in that format that we were just using of a number times 2 other numbers being added together.